Welcome back, YouTube. So, for those of you who have not seen my post over the last few days, I made a post a few days ago stating that I was going to do a challenge, either $1,000, 10,000, or $100 to $1,000 option trading challenge to pretty much just kind of guide people who were looking to get into the space or looking to get additional information, who wanted a more customizable or smaller approach to simply just trading options in the market and being able to learn the techniques and stuff to what to look for and stuff like that to kind of grow their experience trading in the market. And I started a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, publicly giving my positions and stuff that I take inside of my Patreon. And I wanted to take on like a small group, about 200 people. We're roughly around 103 people, 104 people right now. And I want to let you go over, the basics, the ins and outs of options and how to make them really work for you. So the purpose of this program is obviously to just deliver the information and have it in a really convenient way for everyone. Because I know sometimes you can search the information, a lot of information, a lot of great information is in fact on YouTube. And it's a great starting point for building like a foundational understanding of how to get into these plays and stuff like that. Some people, even in the group, they know or they have a understanding of options and stuff. They just simply are there to see where I'm putting my strike prices, and they'll do something, either the same thing or something similar, and that's fine. But for people who are generally just like confused, or if it's just a wide variety of information online and you've seen my other videos and you like the way that I explain things and stuff like that, this can be a bridge here to just kind of ease your foot into the water to get exposure. So I want to talk about that. It's not, I wanted to do possibly in 30 days, but I have to keep in mind that with $100, because I'm going to do this one over the 1,000 to 10,000 challenge, because I realized that a lot of people, and it was even made a point on the post, a lot of people don't have $1,000 to initially invest, and that's fine. But most people can do $100. So I'm going to try and get this done roughly within like a month or so. But I realized that with $100, you're not going to be able to participate in every play or get the most ideal strike prices all the time. So it may take a little longer, but ultimately we're looking for a 10x here. And even the people in my group, we've had some amazing weeks. We've had some 140% weeks. We've had some 40% days. We've had some 400% plays. It's been really a great, I said like last month has been really, really great. And I think that there's going to be some greater opportunity coming later this year. So what we're looking for is to find some like specific plays here that you're going to be able to utilize with the $100, and potentially even getting into, as we build up the like accounts and stuff, potentially get into the ability to like hedge to protect yourself on both sides of the play, so that you can exit a play if it's not working out, or you can just simply make money on both sides of the play, get out of an option and get into another side. And that's the benefit. That's kind of things that I talk about with my groups. Sometimes you're a bull, sometimes you're a bear. It depends on the market. We don't go against the tide here. And speaking of tide, this is something similar. This is one of the funds and stuff that you can trade. And typically what you're looking for when you're getting into these positions is, it's not all about support and resistance. I know you see that a lot on YouTube, support and resistance and stuff like that. If it was that simple, we'd all be trillionaires. It's a lot more factors that's going into this. You guys know I talk about like macros and timing and history and stuff like this. It's a pool of all of these things. You have to kind of keep the tempo for what's going on with the option, because an option, you're leveraging a play, you're leveraging a stock, and you're getting control over 100 of them. And most people, I explain, what options are and Greeks and all that kind of stuff, but most of the time people are not looking to exercise those options. They're simply just trading in and out of the premium. So you have to calculate that into your approach. So when you're saying that, oh, okay, well, we're in a downward trend line now, I can just do like some puts and stuff. You have to calculate support levels, macros, the timing of the option. How long are you going to be in it? All this has to be taken into account before you make these plays here, because I don't lose money in the market often, or make just pick like a bad stock often. But if I do lose money, it'll be on an option. So the option is a powerful tool to get exposure. And when you're doing it right, you can build up money relatively quickly. But it's also on the adverse side. If you have no idea what you're doing, you're simply gambling. It's a very expensive way to learn how to pretty much play in the markets here. You come out much better just buying the stock straight up. So that way, if it's going down, if you need the money and stuff like that, you can still have some value when you sell outside the company going bankrupt. You can still have some value and exit the position. An option at some point will be worthless. So that you're always battling time there. But I'm going to give you a few things in here that you need to look for outside of like the macros and stuff like that. Again, support does play a huge part, but you're not fighting the trend. You never ever fight the trend, and you take that into account. Timing is also going to be the biggest thing, but you never fight the trend here. So when you're looking here, you look back and you want to take in possibly the last 30 to 90 days into account and say, okay, well, I'm looking here. What did we do last time we were here? The time before that, the time before that. And you'll see here, like in this chart here, what do we have consistently? Gaps, 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 gaps. We have a gap up, gap down, gap up, gap down. So this is giving you an idea of the pattern that's here. And you don't have to take that wide of approach, but we're not day trading. So this is going to be over several weeks and stuff. So you're going to want a broader approach. You're not looking at a 5-minute chart or something like that on the NAS 100 and say, oh, okay, supply and demand. No, this is much more going into this compared to, simply just day trading. So because you have to kind of get an idea so that you can take a position so that you're not having to roll every week. You will have to roll some weeks, but not so that you don't have to roll every week. You're going to have to kind of take into account here and say, okay, well, there is a potential that we can have a bounce here. So this determines how should I hedge? Should I go relatively heavy and say, oh, this is all a put play just because of what's going on? Or what if we have that bounce there? So therefore, my play needs to be split, and maybe I need to hedge a little more just in case I should, just in case we do get that bounce and stuff. And then of course we have the unknowns. You're always playing against time. What if more stimulus comes out? What if they come out and, is the CPI meeting next week? Is it going to be dovish or hawkish? These are all things that you have to kind of take account of when you're dealing with these plays here. And this is one of the reasons why I do believe that if yes, you can start out with much more money, but I think this is an affordable way to get people exposure into the market here without having, people sign up for like a $500 course or something like that. And, they find out that they simply just don't like trading options, because everybody doesn't like trading options. They could not be for you. Some people prefer, day trading or, just the buy and hold diamond hands approach. It's not for everybody, but, it's a skill that you can have in your pocket here, to go into the markets and generate money on a weekly basis, daily basis, a monthly basis, however you're playing the market. It's certainly a skill that you can appreciate. And we have skills to be able to go into the market. And, if you are, self-employed, or if you simply make all of your money out of the market, having these types of skills makes it a lot easier to hold. When people say, diamond hands or holding and stuff like that, the market generally appreciates up. That's true. That's very true. If you hold quality, you are more than likely going to make money, but you have to be able to generate revenue in the meantime when you're holding. So if you're holding, you say, I'm going to hold through this bear cycle for 2 years or something like that, or 1 year, and until the next bull run. Okay, what are you doing in the meantime to generate money? So these skills come in handy so that you're not having to, go back to a job you hate or something like that. This can provide you with the, the knowledge to be able to go into the market to generate extra income. And, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this here, especially at this price range, because it makes a lot of sense, because most people can get exposure to the market and at least learn the skill sets here. Temperaments are going to be different. People don't like being in the red. Some days you're in the red, some days you're in the green. It swings, but ultimately, when you're playing things right and you have that time built in there, things typically can work out if you've done it correctly. And that's one of the things I wanted to do with a small group of people. I do recommend you learning about Greeks for options. What are they for? The difference between a call and a put. A put is not a short, so if you do want to take a negative position, and you don't have a bunch of money and you don't want to be a guaranteed buyer if it goes running off the other way, it's better to do puts than shorts. You don't want to make sure that you're not selling these shares and stuff like that, especially if naked, if you don't own them. That can get yourself into a situation. And obviously, I go over that. And if you want to research this, I highly recommend, especially for my followers who are looking to get into trading, I definitely recommend doing like the research if it's something you want to do on your own. If it's something you wanted to do with me, I'll have a link in the description there, in the description section, so that we can certainly do that together and work on building those skill sets up. But I do think that for everyone, outside of just saying buy and hold and diamond hands, I do think that you should certainly build on those skills to be in the markets and to be a profitable investor. I'll also link a video that I made a few weeks ago, which was kind of like my intro to options video, and I go a little bit more in depth. But I do have, I think there's 95 spots left. The group is going to be 200 people. So there's like 95 spots left. You'll be able to sign up. I recommend doing it tomorrow on the 1st, because Patreon bills on the 1st. So you don't want to do it necessarily like today and then they get billed again tomorrow. So, but those 95 spots, and we'll want to build the group out into a whole bunch of other things as well. But we'll talk about that for those of you who want to be a part of it. But watch my other video, Intro to Options. I'm going to link that in the, I'm going to pin it in the comment section so that you guys can check that out. And for those of you who are simply interested, do general research. You can go on YouTube, look up options and stuff, how to play it. There's a lot of information out there. And I just really recommend that you build on that and use it to generate revenue for yourself. And for those of you that want to work with me, I'll provide a way for you to do so. All right, so I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for watching this video, the $100 to $1,000 options trading, because we're going to do this in real time in the group, because it's not something that you can necessarily go live and do. Well, I guess you can do it like live, but it's not something that happens as fast as like day trading. This is something that's going to take time to play out. Maybe weekly. You may take a few weeks and put in there and stuff like that. Obviously, the more time, the better. But this will be something that we will do together. We'll learn from each other and simply just grow that way. But all in all, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, and I will see you in the next one.